Hello, my duplicate cupcakes, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Well, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but I'm kind of doing some cleanup. What I've been working on a little bit since I started playing was kind of getting some of the algae and stuff, slime, cleaned up, because honestly, we really need it, and I wanted to get this pump out of the way, so he's finally cleared up, because I basically just sent a bunch of guys in here to do some basic cleanup, so that's what that is. Now up here, one of the things that's actually happening is we've got quite a bit of, yeah, as you can see, we're pumping. How I did this originally, which makes no sense, is I ended up pumping the oxygen and carbon monoxide, or carbon dioxide back in here, and I actually want to kind of undo that if I can. So kind of in the middle of taking care of that, as you can kind of see, there's some pumping going on here, finally, which is actually what I wanted. I want to take the oxygen, however, and move it elsewhere. And I think the best way to do that, unfortunately, is we're gonna have to kind of carve out all of this stuff here, get rid of this ice. I actually want to put 2 more tiles here and put the oxygen and stuff outside, like completely outside. And I think that will help some of the issues. Now, as you can kind of see, actually we want to enable this building because I believe, yeah, we've got some escaping. This needs to be set to 9. Please turn this on like immediately. There we go. We need to pump the whatever natural gas we can back inside, like, stat. Because that is a huge problem. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this out here. Oh, you know what? We completely screwed that up, though. Because as you can kind of see now, we've got this intersecting pipe. Oh, crap. Okay, we're gonna need to deconstruct that. Not the gas pipe. Cancel that. What? I want to get rid of the gas vent here. Okay, let's see if we can't get this cleaned up. Or not. We're just gonna not at this point, because that's where we're at here. I don't think we have anybody that works at night. I think everybody's gonna end up going to sleep. We really probably should build another bathroom, I'm noticing. Seems like probably a good idea to do so. Okay, so I think we've finally got things solved at least a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and lock this door here. Set that door to 9. As you can kind of see, we finally got battery power back up here, and I think we're finally getting rid of some of that gas, though I am noting that this is actually overpressure as well, which, well, that's kind of a pain, but I'm not really sure what to do about that at the moment. But it does look like at least getting rid of some of that oxygen is allowing things to continue to move, so that's a good sign, which also means that the power is coming in here and actually activating, which we were totally having a problem with that for a few minutes. We didn't have any power, so that looks like we're doing pretty well. We're not too hot. I've moved these batteries out of our main area, so that should help a little bit down here. Looking pretty good. I would like to use this, but I do need to continue to take care of some of these problems down here. Like, seriously. But this is good, so we should actually be able to, we do have a lot of oxygen in here. That's like the biggest issue. I'm hoping we don't run out of power anytime soon, so hopefully this will continue to move. We'll see what happens. So in retrospect, as I'm sitting here working on stuff, I'm trying to get some bristle blooms blossoming. That was a long sentence. So that I can move on with my food supplies. And Trying to take care of that, trying to take care of this and get this. This is actually not too bad right now. We still have quite a bit of natural gas in here, but really we don't have enough to keep this running all the time. I think we're gonna be dormant for, oh, we need to analyze this. Like, we really need to analyze this. I'm not sure how long we're gonna be dormant for, but probably for a little bit while longer. As you can kind of see though, we're not really kicking in a lot of natural gas. So because of that, this isn't running very quickly. In retrospect, there's a lot of things I would have done different, given that this was actually the first game that I played of Oxygen Not Included. I wasn't quite sure what I was kind of running in for and into, and there's a lot of things I would have done so much differently. Well, it seems like I'm just kind of trying to do cleanup on like previous me's major issues at this point. I have been trying to, where was I building? I was building a little bit down this way. Where exactly was I building? Oh, over here, because we're out of coal. Obviously, as you can see, I found a bunch of coal, so I've been kind of getting into that because we're gonna need it. Not a lot down here, honestly, that we want to break into. Now, one of the things we do have a lot of that we can't really use right now is the sleet wheat grain. We can make that into the berry sludge, but we need bristleberries for that, and bristleberries take light to grow. So do have some light in here, trying to get these guys all lit up so that they can grow. That'll be helpful. The berry sludge makes your duplicants more happy, so we definitely want to do that if we can. I want to dig this out. Now the reason I'm digging this out is I want to build a kind of a like, what do I want to call it? I want to block things in here. The temperature of this area is actually really nice because the natural gas geyser does release hot air, and the fact that it's in a cold location really helps. Just keeps everything cooler overall. So that's been very, very nice. I don't know how long it's going to stay that way, but I am trying to do my best to keep it that way. Anything else that I really want to talk about here? Not really. I kind of just need to play and break things down. We have a big issue, germ overlay with the slime lung. One of the issues is because we just don't have a lot of algae. I'm not really sure how I screwed that one up, but I just don't have a lot of algae just like waiting to be used. So definitely need to do that. But kind of looking around here a little bit, I don't really know what my next course of action should be, other than building up and down. There is a place in here. Oh, there's an anti-entropy thermo nullifier over here. I probably knew that already, to be completely honest, and just completely forgot about it. But yeah, I need to find more algae. Well, let's just spend a little bit of time talking about a few things that I probably would have done differently while I grab these printables. Ooh, sand. And just kind of discuss some of the growing pains of learning about this game that kind of learned a little bit in some of my other games that I didn't know about when I started this one. So first of all, let's talk about where things are. I didn't really know going into this game. So space is up here somewhere. We haven't quite dug out that far. Space is space. There is no hot or cold in space because space is just space. But the surface of the asteroid / planet that you're on is actually very, very hot. Something that I haven't really dealt with, but that I've got several games like right there to me building and going to space. Oil is really, really, really low in here. And we haven't even dug, I don't think we've dug anywhere near down there. And I think maybe we'll just start doing that. Oh, other thing that you can do is you can put these storage bins in water like this, and then put things like bleach stone in them, and they will not produce chlorine. Or you can put slime in there and they won't produce polluted air. That's very nice to know, something I didn't think about when I initially started this game. So that's something. Continuing, other things I did not know. If you put ice in water, it melts and the water around it becomes cold. I kind of feel like this is a duh moment, but honestly didn't really think about it. So you can put it inside something and it will melt inside that container. But if you put it inside, say, water, it cools the water. Fantastic way of creating some cooling stuff that, yeah. Oh, the reason I mentioned oil and the fact that oil is down below is you need oil to make plastic. This is the same thing in real life. Plastic is made from oil, or I should say it's made from petroleum. What's the word I'm looking for? Petroleum is made into plastic and creates a lot of waste, to be honest. Not just in real life, but also in this game. I believe it creates a lot of heat. In that case, heat is bad. We're actually not doing too bad with heat, honestly. One of the good things that we probably should have noted early on is that we have this anti-entropy thermo nullifier. If we look at what it does it actually say what it does? I guess it doesn't, but it lowers the temperature by like -80. Like it takes in -80. I don't know what the units they use. I guess I can check what units they use. They use... It needs to be running for me to read the heat. Heat production is KDTU. I'm not sure what KDTU stands for. DTU. Okay, so whatever DTU stands for, it takes in -80 DTU. It creates -80 DTU of heat. So that's actually quite a bit. Ideally, what we would be doing is we would be passing through some sort of gas or water through here, letting this run, probably hydrogen, if we could manage that, and then just kind of piping it around our base. Now, one of the things with that is we have the water to do that, actually. We may want to do that, but I have slime lung being pumped into this water here. Not what I would be doing. This has also got the, actually I don't think there's any of the food poisoning germs in here. But I would be pumping the food poisoning germs into here and the slime lung somewhere else. Slime lung is edible, it's not breathable. So that's an important difference. I know it sounds really weird, but that's actually quite a difference. So we would, I'm gonna change these over to the blossom seeds. So that's quite a thing to take note of as you do that kind of stuff. Keep that separate, because then the food poisoning stuff can be separate and the slime lung can still be used to water your plants. If you eat it, as far as I can tell, there's no downside to that. I don't really know. What else would I have done if I had known a little bit differently? I would have set base up a little bit differently. Kind of right now, and something that I do need to do for this particular game is I really need to move these heat production items away from the main part of base, which actually is why I moved these batteries up here. I want to kind of move these batteries down. I want to move this stuff away. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult because of this whole setup, but I can easily move the coal generator out of here. I want to move these guys out of here. You don't want your heat production stuff anywhere near your main part of base. In fact, the farther away that you can get it, the better. This is because heat doesn't necessarily transfer as far as you would think it does in this game. It sounds a little weird because heat does transfer, but it's a very slow transfer. So you're better off just putting those further down south in your base, or just to the side or somewhere else, and then cooling those down later. If you put them in the middle of the base, unfortunately, what ends up kind of happening is you end up heating up your entire base and you kind of screw yourselves over. When it comes to chlorine and stuff like that, I would actually start working on these sooner than later and actually packing all of that chlorine and hydrogen into gas reservoirs a lot sooner than later. And I would not use the natural gas geysers as much as I did in this particular game. In fact, I would focus mostly on just trying to get things going so that you can then move on and create, I think we've already got them, solar panels. So basically focus very much on forcing your way to space. Oh, by the way, we did find this cool steam vent. Cool is a bit of a misnomer here. It does not create cool anything. It creates very hot steam. And this is your renewable source of water, but honestly not too useful because it creates a lot of heat. On top of that, I would probably not use it too much. Yeah, other things. I would have been focusing on decor much earlier in the game had I known about it. That is one thing that has kind of screwed me over. The higher your decor is, actually if I check out like Nisbet here, if you look at morale, it says last cycle's decor average +3. The higher your decor, the more morale boost that you get. Very, very useful, kind of in general. So what I'm gonna do, I think for this particular game, I'm very frustrated at how I set this up because I was so new to the game. I kind of think I might just play this a little bit and see how far we can get. Is this cold area down here? It is. There's actually a cold area down here. And then maybe come back a little bit later and kind of show you guys what I've done, because one of the biggest things here is it just takes time, and we're only on cycle 204. We played this for 16 hours, and I think some of my other ones are a little bit further down. Let me show off one of my other games so you can kind of see the difference of how I've been doing things. Okay, so just to show off kind of some of the things that I would have done differently. This whole world is a little different, but wanted to kind of discuss some of the things that I want to kind of just know about this game that you may not, well, I don't know how to phrase this. Things that I wish I had known that I most definitely did not know when I started my previous game that I'm going to continue playing. But just to show off a couple things, as you can kind of see, I've got most of my what is this stuff? Power stuff down here. It's completely separate from my base. This, I'm going to be moving these eventually too, just haven't quite carved out enough in here to do so. But as you can kind of see, the heat is being kept down here. Really a good idea. I've got two different water sources. This one I'm clearing out first, and I'm going to be moving over to this one later. One of the wise things to do there is, you know, just to have that separate. One thing to note here is I've been keeping my slime and my bleach stone underwater. Obviously, it cannot produce chlorine or polluted oxygen if you have that. And kind of just to note here, one thing I did not really know was how the parks worked. So these are nature reserves. Parks only have two wild plants. Very, very useful for keeping your guys' morale up. Very useful. But I wanted to show this off because I'm going to be continuing to work on the other game. It's hard to explain what I wanted to do to kind of fix that game. One of the biggest things is these central fire poles and ladders. I want to recreate some of this in my other game, and I just need to take a little time to do that. Now this one has a hydrogen vent, which I accidentally dug up. I didn't know that these existed. They create hydrogen, kind of like a renewable source of hydrogen, kind of like the natural gas. Again, this is something that it goes dormant eventually, so that's kind of a potential problem, but it is just something that I wanted to kind of show off. This one has two anti-entropy thermal nullifiers. I'm going to be working on the other base to try and take some of what I've done here and transfer that over. But I just wanted to show this off because there's really no way to explain it while in the chaotic mess that is the other game. And this one, it's becoming so nice. I mean, look how nice this layout is. I don't have that in the other one. So I'm going to meet you over in the other game, but I wanted to show this off so you could kind of see what I'm aiming towards. And this, as you can see, the temperature-wise heat is actually keeping out of here. Oh, there is a cool steam vent here. Kind of got this blocked off with some insulated tile. It's not going to be perfect, but it's just working so much better than what we've got going in the other game. So I wanted to kind of express that in a way that I couldn't do over there. So I'm going to meet you back over there. I just wanted to show this off. Okay, so I wanted to show off kind of what I'm doing here to kind of bring things back. Now, one thing to note here, the long commutes, 53% is spent traveling, which is a really bad amount, honestly. And a lot of that does have to do with the fact that there's like stuff going on down here. It's very far away. We're not going to talk about that. That's a totally different issue, but moving around base alone has been kind of a problem. And are you kidding me? Still too much liquid? Oh my gosh, let me mop this up. I don't want to have to pump this out, I just want to mop it up. But what I've done here is I've kind of split this up so that there is a ladder and a fire pole here that should allow us to move around. And I'm kind of hoping, okay, we can finally start to mop some of this stuff up. Even if it's just a little bit, that would be great to get this out of here. I want to be able to use this area to put piping through. I think we've had to kind of, yeah, you kind of see things are all kind of around the, like a roundabout way. So I want to be able to get in here. I want to set up at least one of these oxygen diffusers. Oxygen diffusers are great because from what I understand, it takes water in. That's not the weird part. The weird part is the heat that it takes in when it expels hydrogen and oxygen is actually less than what it takes in. So you can essentially remove heat from the environment at least a little bit by using the, not the oxygen diffusers, I'm sorry, the electrolyzers. It converts water into oxygen and hydrogen, just splits them up. But because of that, it actually removes heat from the environment. That is not correct, but it is in fact something that I really want to take advantage of if I can. We're not dealing with too much heat. I mean, we're dealing with heat. It's a problem. I mean, it's like 85 degrees in here. That's not bad, but it's still an issue. So removing at least a little bit of heat would be great. Now this water, I would love to use this, but because it's got slime lung in it, it's not exactly the safest way. Slime lung isn't, like, it won't murder your dupes, but it will cause at least a few issues. Primarily, they get sick for a few days, and we don't want to have to deal with that if we don't have to. We really need a deodorizer over here, don't we? Yeah, we do. So trying to clear this area up, as you can kind of see, I've got rid of all that water, well, most of that water, and kind of clearing this area up for use, thank goodness. I want to build, I'm going to be building more of these mesh tiles over here so that oxygen can get through. I think we could also just use airflow tiles. It would block liquid, but these ones are mesh and so they don't block liquid. I don't really care too much one way or the other. Let's mop that up, get all of that polluted water out of here and put into this area. This is pumping water down here into this. It's just this one is absolutely full. We need to think a little bit more about that. What printables? When did that happen? Let's get some shine nymphs. Now, I think, actually, let me double check here. Let me turn off critter eggs on all of these. We do not need to be storing critter eggs at all for any reason. There we go. So they should hatch and we'll have them floating around. That's going to be a problem because these guys are right against these doors. So the light is just going to come right in. What I'm going to do then to help that a little bit is I'm going to put some cots up here. This is where the batteries were. I've moved things out. I'm going to put some cots up here. I'm going to remove these two. Actually, you know what? I don't want to go that far. So I'm going to move these, at least these end two over here and probably these two. That way we can build a little bit of decor. You can see it's not too bad in here thanks to the crown molding, but I still want to improve a little bit. Let's go ahead and deconstruct at least these two to start with and let's build some crown molding up here. I want to leave the edges open so we can build, let's see here, where are they? The crown, corner molding, not just the crown molding. It just makes things look a little prettier. I like it. And that allowed them to move up here. I think I'm going to destroy these two. Actually, is that going to be too big if, let's see, this room is 48 and for a barracks, 64. Yeah, it's going to be too big if I destroy that wall. So we'll just leave that wall there. Those two people should move up here, so that should be pretty good. Anything else that I've done that's really good here? Just trying to clean up some of that polluted oxygen seems to be working pretty well. Polluted oxygen is a huge issue, as also is the carbon dioxide that seems to be filtering, or just kind of hanging around. And electricity is also a huge issue that we're running against, so we need to start taking care of that. I'm not really sure. I was kind of relying on coal. Not really the best thing to rely on, obviously, since we keep running out. I was digging coal out from over here. So let's go ahead and get some more coal, but that's not going to be a permanent solution. We're going to need something else pretty dang fast. So you can see the manual generators are only kind of working. I think we've just got too much being pulled up here. Where is this energy coming from? I think, yeah, it looks like these aren't necessarily pulling energy. They just have energy. That just kind of ends. Might want to pull all that back. So we really need to figure something out. I think creating a split circuit would probably be a great idea. But we need to do something, and we need to do something pretty quick with that. So next time, I know this episode's kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that. The next time you see me, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time off camera. Just kind of, I'm gonna maybe go to like cycle 220 or something like that. Kind of spend some time carving out some coal, because we need that apparently. Trying to figure out where we want to put our system, cooling things off, because that's clearly a problem. What is that? Why is there a red dot there? Okay, I'm gonna do one thing on screen here. I'm wondering if there's something underneath here, because there's the neutronium under here, and kind of looking here, there is definitely something there. Okay, I still can't see it. There's something underneath there. Oh no. What is it? Water geyser. Okay, totally different problem that I was not completely aware that we were going to be having. I'm going to put something on top of this, so hopefully it will remain, oh no, build it quickly, please. Oh no. Okay, so it should be overpressured, so it shouldn't be a problem, but that is in fact a water geyser under there. So that's creating water, it's creating hot water. That's actually not necessarily a bad thing, because we could actually use that hot water for creating all sorts of things. The problem is I didn't realize it was here. I just recently learned that if there's like a neutronium spot, normally it's pretty cold and you can find them pretty easily. I don't know if there's any other ones. There's one here. So you can't see under here, but I bet that is a hydrogen, probably a hydrogen geyser underneath there. There's one right here. Where else? There's one here. There's probably something behind there. It's buried. But that happens pretty often, apparently. And as you can kind of see, it's creating a lot of heat. Now it is currently idle, and it should be over. Oh no. That's not good. I just screwed myself over. So next time I'll have this, hopefully. You know what? I think this is going to be the thing that I end up spending most of my time on. Trying to figure out what to do here, since it's creating all sorts of heat and it's so bad. We're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize if these episodes have been a little slow recently, because there's just so much to do, and now at this point in the game it takes quite a bit of time to really get things moving. That's one thing I've noticed about this game, is it kind of starts out very quick, and then after some time you really kind of hit a wall where it can take a few cycles for things to really start moving, because you're working on big projects, you're working on cooling things down, and that temperature removal can take some time, producing things can take some time. So if you're kind of like, wow, this is going really slow, that's the reason why. So next time we'll have some stuff set up, so hopefully I can share that off, and maybe I'll just record so I can talk over some of the craziness that I'm sure is going to happen, because this is just so bad. Oh, it is. It's showing as overpressure, by the way. Let me show that off. Shows as overpressure, so that means it can't vent. That's not a bad thing right now. We do not want that venting until we have a place for that water to go. I don't have a place for that water to go. I'll probably end up building that maybe down here. I don't know. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.